What's up, everybody? This is Hustle for Strength Radio Show, episode 12, with your host, Galo Guerrero, and me, Derek Filer. And we got a guest on today. His name is Nicholas Green. He's the founder of BehaviorFit. He's currently working on his PhD for psychology and behavior analysis. What's up, Nick?
How's it going? Thanks for having me today.
Nice to have you on, brother.
Yeah, good to see you, Galo.
So, what's up, Nick?
Not much,
What you been up to?
What I've been up to? Well, finished up the third year in the program down here in sunny Florida at UF, University of Florida. Just been working hard on finishing up my studies, working on a dissertation for next year, and then just sharing my message out there with BehaviorFit, working with clients, doing workshops, and talking to cool guys like you.
Awesome, man. Are you still sore from Strong Gator?
Yeah, that was fun. That was a strongman competition here on campus, which I did okay. To answer your question, I'm not sore anymore, but I'm a CrossFitter, so we could talk about that. So we actually have the open going on, so I'm a little sore from some deadlifts.
You doing CrossFit right now, bro?
Yeah, I've been doing it. This is my fifth year. So.
Oh yeah? Are you trying to qualify for the games?
that's a whole nother level of commitment, which I'm not ready for all that. But
got you.
I enjoy it. The Open is the international competition that's going on, so I'm a little sore from that. Sometimes on the weekends, but yeah, it's all good.
Dope.
I've actually been meaning to ask you because you came to my gym, strength camp, and did a class, and your gym shut down. Have you found a gym?
I have not. I'm still searching for a gym. Fortunately, as a student, I still get a free membership at the co-rec on campus. So I've just been working on that, and I like doing a lot of Olympic lifting too. So they have platforms and a separate training area for that. So my training isn't as what it used to be, just because the equipment all is in the same place, But just been the gym's worked out on campus.
What are you currently, or how are you currently training? Are you you're just doing the prep for the games? Yeah,
I've been following. There's a coach. His name's Ben Bergeron, and he's coached some of the top CrossFit athletes, and he has a free online programming with different levels based on your experience and what your goals are. So I've been following that for about the past 8-9 months, and the training cycles are geared more towards CrossFit Open prep. So the past 2-3 months have been more metabolic conditioning, more of that high intensity training intervals, less strength building. But once the open season's over, then it goes back into, heavy squat cycles and, a lot of barbell work.
Now, now with the
okay, I've been actually meaning to ask you too. What is 18.4?
You want to know what the workout is?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is a 9-minute AMRAP, so as many reps as you can, in a scheme of 21, 15, 9 of a couplet, where you do 21 deadlifts at 225, then you do 21 handstand push-ups, which is a very technical
21 handstand push-ups.
Yeah, so you're vertical.
People can actually do 21 handstand push-ups?
Yeah, I did it yesterday.
Jesus.
I'm a person.
21.
Yeah, you can do them kipping, which is kind of a momentum thing. They're not strict, which is a whole other deal. So you do 21, then you do 15 deadlifts, 15 handstand push-ups, 9 at 225 on the barbell, and then they added it. Then you do that same cycle, except now you add 90 pounds, so it's a 315 deadlift at 21, and then instead of handstand push-ups, you do handstand walks, which is the first time for the Open this year.
Wow.
So it's intense. Not many people get through. Only the elite of the elite get through it. I can do handstand push-ups, but they have a new stricter standard where you have to get into a more. We're doing an audio podcast, and I'm showing on a video that you have to extend, an extra 3 to 4 inches to get that range of motion. But so you got 9 minutes to do all that work.
Wow.
And I got through around 21, 15 deadlifts, and then 4 handstand push-ups.
Got you.
And then it's over. And then you have 18.5 next week.
Now you repeat that
What
same
is
workout
what
for
is
like
18.5? Oh, you got a question, Galo?
Yeah, I was gonna say pretty much that when the 18.4, 18.3 comes out, do you literally do the same workout for a week until like how does that work?
Yeah, so the format is the workout comes out Thursday night, and then you have until Monday evening to get the best score you can on that workout. So you can do it once and be good with that score, or you can do it as many times as you can up until Monday night. So depending on the workout, like some things you're only going to do once because they're
Got you.
really
So it's only
taxing.
so it's only a few days, really. I thought it was like a whole week until like the next one.
You have a weekend, and then it's 5 weekends in a row.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you guys familiar with the format of the CrossFit Open, or is this all kind of new to you?
All new to me, man. I never done CrossFit, and not really that into it. But I mean, I enjoy watching like the aspects of it somewhat, because some of the stuff they do is actually like pretty crazy. But never done it myself or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a different training style, and just like anything, it's if you have a good coach and it's done right on a good progression, you get some incredible results. And
Derek, have you ever done CrossFit?
No.
Okay.
I think my biggest problem with CrossFit is the heavy lifts over and over and over again, but there's no like. It depends on the coach, I think, like you said.
Yeah, there's
because I like watching the CrossFit Games, and those guys are, obviously elite athletes, but I don't think, your 50-year-old soccer mom is an elite athlete and needs to be doing 100 deadlifts every minute on the minute. But I mean, that's just what it is. It's fun for people, so people love it.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to your last episode, and you made that point, Derek, where it's like you get, when form breaks down, that's when everything should stop. And I mean, there are, during competition, you're going to push yourself a little harder, whether it's a CrossFit like meet or something like that, or if it's like a savage race, you might not do the best, pull-up form or something getting over a wall, but as long as you're not doing that every day. And yeah, I mean, once form breaks down, you want to stop. And hopefully you do have a good coach that's right there to say, hey, you did six reps, and the seventh one was shit. So
But the most part, I feel like, I feel like CrossFit is a good thing, but I feel like a lot of times people are going until like they're just destroyed, like till the form. They don't even care about form at that point. Like I guess it just feels like you said, it just depends on the coach, because everything it can all vary.
Sometimes I look at other gyms around here and their programming. I don't know. It doesn't look linear, but I mean, I think I might be wrong, but like the classes, the programming might be off, but maybe when you get more specific and more performance based, maybe they're programming for that individual. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's important no matter what you do, whether it's training or studying something. Like you have to have a good progression. And if it's not there, it'll be easy to see, because then you won't have results, and you could have injury, you could be wasting your time, things like that. So I've been fortunate where I started off in a good gym where they had consistent programming, and you could see like, every Monday you're doing back squats, every Thursday is working on your weakness day, and every Saturday is a team workout. So there's some good structures there, but just with anything, be good car mechanics and bad car mechanics, and that could get into a little bit like when it gets into like evaluating programs and stuff. That's a little bit what I'm interested in with BehaviorFit. So maybe we could talk about that too. So
yeah, real quick, what's your favorite lift?
Me?
Yes.
I would say I like a good squat clean.
Okay.
Squat clean.
Yeah.
So that's when you clean and then go down into a front squat.
Yeah, clean the bar all the way up, and then
that's tough, man.
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say. That's brutal.
I go as far as I don't even do that. I don't really do that stuff. I just do my favorite is the deadlift. That's it.
That's all you do.
Love deadlift, bro.
I think deadlifts would be my second favorite movement. If you're looking at just the actual lifts. But yeah, man, it's that's part of the Olympic lifting. It's it's technical, it's fun, it's challenging, it's a mental challenge, it's a physical challenge. So I think for me the squat clean is that's the move for me.
Dope. Dope. So tell us a little bit about what BehaviorFit is. Like, what's it about?
Yeah, so BehaviorFit's kind of been my it's been this amazing process, really, of just combining all my interests of fitness, health, behavioral science, and just really just kind of creating a movement about movement, just so people can get up and be healthier. And once you are able to maybe harness a few behavioral principles and with the right guidance, you can reach your goals and live the life you want to live.
It says, I'm looking at this BehaviorFit primary duties. One of them is creating and delivering workshops related to healthy behavior change. Can you explain a healthy behavior change?
Sure. Yes.
Or examples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So really, it'll be easiest to kind of talk about like in the context of like what my research is. So I'm interested in getting office workers out of the chair moving because we need to exercise, have a good program. At the same time, maybe you've heard the phrase the new smoking. So if you sit all day, that's still bad too. So the healthy behavior change that I will be looking at is like how do you get away from their desk more steps throughout their day. So that would be kind of the target. So you have somebody who is interested in being more active and healthy throughout their day. And I have a client right now that she, after looking a little bit of data, she was not moving too much. She's only taking like 2,000 steps a day, but with a couple strategies, we've gotten her more active throughout the day, and she's happy, and things are going great.
Nice. Now, what are some some strategies, say, for someone who's very sedentary and just to get started? Like, where do they start? Because sometimes I feel like, I obviously recommend strength training, but some people just start moving, man. So like, what do you usually recommend?
Yeah, that's it. So in general, it's like the recommendations that I follow. I base my strategies off of is either you need to like reduce the total time you sit per day by a couple hours, or you need to move every 30 minutes. So if you want to move every 30 minutes, set timers, create specific like work breaks. So we all do a lot of computer work nowadays. So if you are doing like a certain task, like going into it, that you're going to do a 45-minute, Word document or whatever, then you just say, okay, as soon as I'm done or the timer goes off, I'm going to walk away for 5 minutes, come back. And you just repeat that 3 or 4 times in the morning, 3 or 4 times in the afternoon. And before you know it, you get an extra, 2,000-3,000 steps, and you're moving and getting yourself out of that sedentary, hunched over position.
Yeah.
So that'd be like one strategy. So just looking at like setting timers. Also, a big thing is you have to, if you fail to plan, you can plan to fail. So you have to look at like the week of your schedule. Like look at, okay, I have a podcast for 2 hours. I got a music session for 3 hours. I got a training session. Like if you're going to be sitting during those times, then you need to build in other specific like walking breaks or something, just because, this isn't, you're not building strength in these situations. You're just getting up, mobilizing, and undoing, really those hours of, brutal sitting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are those some examples that are clear and kind of make sense for you, Galo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love this because I feel like people don't necessarily know what to do or what to change. And I try to do my best at the gym to get that done, but someone like Nick, he specializes in that, and I want to send all my clients to him because some of them I can't figure out. It's just like, what are we gonna do with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's it's an interesting point, because so I work with like office workers in my research, but it applies to everybody, where there's so many variables that are pretty much working against us to be active. So we have computer work, we have job demands, we have like social pressures to sit down on meetings, we can only complete certain tasks sitting down at the computer. Whenever we go to work, we go walk into a room, you see 100 chairs and tables, you're going to be more likely to sit down, versus if you go to a room that has bar height standing tables, you're going to stand up more and talk and do whatever. So when all these things kind of come together, and then you're tired after squat day, then your legs are tired, so you're going to sit down, so it's all these things. And I think Galo, you mentioned this like on a post recently or something I saw in a previous podcast, that when it comes to just like nutrition, everything's individualized, and same with our own motivation. Everything is so individualized that you have to look at every single person's situation, environment, those variables that either promote activity or decrease activity.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
For instance, in my opinion, or from my experience, the biggest problem for people is sweet cravings or alcohol consumption.
Yeah.
And so, well, I like to.
It's my problem, Nick.
This... What?
Yeah.
I said,
my problem.
Nick. I have a sweet problem sometimes, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I like to have my, cheesecake on Fridays and my cookies and la 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 la. And obviously, you need to change that, but like, or someone that I have to drink. I want to drink my glass of wine, and Fridays, or I can understand like, okay, you drink 4 glasses of wine, maybe you do 2. Is that how you would cut back on something, or you look more into like their other daily habits or personality?
Yeah, I would look at more like what their general like preferences are, like what are they interested in doing. It's like, okay, you're doing this, but first, do you want to change it, and then to what degree do you want to change it? I have another client right now where she was drinking. This is where the behavior analysis comes in. We got to track the data, see what's going on. And back in November, she drank like 30 sodas in a month. And then, so
Dang.
That's a lot. And so in general, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm on the compliance behavior change thing. So I said, is this something you want to change? What I know is if you're a male, you shouldn't have more than 36 grams of processed sugar a day, and females 24, and you're exceeding that. So it's up to you. If we can track it. And then on our own, she slowly cut back. And it was a beautiful, I'm interested in the graphs and the charts, and it's easy to see that she slowly cut it back. And then up in March right now, as this one I'm recording this, she's had 0. So she went from like 30 in a month to like 8 in a month to 4 to February. She only had 2. Like, this is incredible stuff, because she would have like 3 or 4 a day, and now she's having 2 in a whole month. And now she's just like, I don't even crave it anymore. And and kind of to your point, Galo, it's like these are things that just take a long time because the body's changing. Your body's used to not having as much sugar now, all those things. So, yeah.
Now, hold on, real quick question, because I haven't seen. So you mentioned those numbers of like 36, 24 on like sugars. Like, how did that come about? Like, where'd you?
That's the American Heart Association's recommendation.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Regardless of so it's processed sugar, 36 grams per male, and if you have 1 Coke, that's 39 grams. That's above it. So you shouldn't even drink a Coke a day.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
And people are consuming so much. So
usually people are consuming like 2 or 3 a day.
Yeah, just sodas, and then on top of that, they're eating all kinds of other processed, desserts and treats and all that.
Absolutely.
So people are way above it.
So when people get a visual of their behavior, it helps them.
Yeah. So
take a look.
Yeah. So that in itself is a behavioral procedure where just looking at giving people the graphical display, what their kind of what their healthy or unhealthy behavior looks like in a visual format, that helps a lot of people, because it's very you can't avoid it. It's just like, okay, you wrote down you drank a Mountain Dew on Tuesday, you wrote down a Mountain Dew 2 on Thursday, then all I did was count it up, showed it to you, and that in itself is a powerful enough intervention to motivate people to change their behavior. And it's an amazing thing once you see it happen over time.
I want to hear your distinction between motivation and discipline.
Yeah. Motivation and discipline. So motivation is going to be, the result of, just doing things day in and day out. So if we're going to the gym, we have success, we're going to be motivated the next day coming back. It's not going to be something that's going to all of a sudden, like, you just have it. It's, if you are drinking a lot of beer on St. Patrick's Day, you're going to be super motivated to do that next St. Patrick's Day, because that was a lot of fun. All that all those good times come with St. Patty's Day, so you're going to be motivated next St. Patty's Day. Now, discipline, that's going to be just a consistent showing up, engaging in the behavior on the daily basis. That's how I would separate it.
That's pretty interesting. I like that.
So discipline, I guess, would be like the daily actions. That motivation is the result of all those actions.
So what happens when motivation goes away?
You got to change what you're doing.
But isn't that when the discipline comes in?
Right. It is a vicious chicken and the egg situation. So things need to happen around us here. So I'll give you kind of the behavioral interpretation. So let's say a beautiful person walks in the room, you're single, you were not motivated beforehand until that beautiful person walked in to go talk to that person or to go walk to the other side of the bar. But because that beautiful person walked in, now you want to go say hi. It's now more important to go, start up a conversation. So I look at those environmental things, those key events that occur. So it isn't something that just comes out of nowhere. Like you just didn't all of a sudden get, just start talking to somebody out of the blue. It was like, oh no, this person walked in, and then that motivated me to go have the conversation, strike up the conversation, try to get a phone number, things like that.
Got you.
Is that a good answer for you, Derek?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was also going to ask, how many people do you have on, how many people are working at BehaviorFit? Is it just you, or is there multiple different people? Or?
Yeah, so I have my wife, she works with me too, and she works with a client. And then I have partnered with another behavior analyst that she's helping me on the nutrition side of another one. But I have an advisory board with 3 people. So the 3 acting consultants right now, and then 3 advisory members that help steer the ship. Have been good mentors to me through the years.
Nice. Now with BehaviorFit, is it just where you're working with people that work in office that are obviously wanting to lose weight, or they just want to move more, they want to feel better? How's that go about?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. So just like you guys, when somebody comes to you and says, hey, I want to get healthier, I want to get stronger, you're just like, okay, well, how do we start? And so I'm still in school full time, so my clients are all virtual telehealth models. I meet with them over Google Hangouts, just like we're doing. And so we say, okay, I want, do you think you can help me with, getting healthier or moving more? One client wants to start doing a pull-up. So maybe I'll hit you up, Derek, for a pull-up program. But we just start with their goals, do a formal, kind of assessment, write down what they want to work on, and then just start troubleshooting from there.
Now, is this a lot of this stuff remote? Do you have like a specific location, or is it just kind of online type things?
Yeah, it's online. So again, with the so it's kind of like what's unique with me. So I emphasize a lot of taking objective, data. So it's steps or lifts. I have a running client. She sends me her Garmin data, and we've been looking at that. So we're looking at a specific running performance goal for her, and so I'm not meeting in person with somebody, but it's all remote, phone calls, just depending on what's good for the person too. Again, working with what people prefer and what they're motivated to use.
Got you.
Yeah.
I think a big thing around this time with behavior is the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, they're gone now.
Yeah,
it's March. We're recording.
It's over. And do you get clients that around New Year's, because I feel like as gym owners or trainers, you get a whole bunch of people just out of nowhere around January, and then it falls off. It just completely falls off, and then it's like, what happened? Yeah,
so same for me. You get more interest. That's just the nature of the culture that we live in. This kind of speaks to that motivation piece that you asked about, Derek, of things are happening in our world around us. So what do we see? And I worked in a Globo gym for a couple of years, so I was a part of it. So I got firsthand experience. What do you do? You put up balloons. It's exciting. You have giveaways. You have Derek's laughing because he knows this stuff's true. the motivation, we're kind of creating this thing that, it's exciting to do. But then once all those things go away, because what happens in February, March? No more balloons, no more giveaways. Like those things that helped us show up in January, like every day should be a party when we go to the gym, but it's not. It only happens that one time a year. So what do you do with resolutions? I just try to remind people that like it's a process. You're not going to get healthy in a month, and if you have that perspective to begin with, we have to start with that mindset.
It's a long process.
I like that.
Yep, and that's what behavior analysis is all about. It's like, what can you maintain in the long term? Because I get people all the time saying like, what's a good workout? What should I do? What's this? And it's all like, what can you change one thing and maintain right away? Some clients want to change like their step count goal or their exercise goal. I'm just like, you've only been consistently working out like 2 days a week. We're not going to jump to 4. Just get to 2, and then we'll get to 3.
Yeah.
And work from there.
All right, man. That sounds great. I got a personal question for you.
Yeah.
If you could see one change in the world, just one change.
Change.
Doesn't have to be anything related to BehaviorFit. If you could change one thing, the power of Nicholas Green, what would you change?
I like it. I like this question, man.
This is a question you end all guests with.
You're the first guest.
All right, here we go. The power to change. So one thing that I want to change, I would say less processed sugar in the world.
So no high fructose corn syrup?
Yeah. So none of that. As much as we talk about moving and exercising, like you can't outlift, outrun, outmove a bad diet. And, all the research that I've, looked at over the past 5 years since I've been more in health and fitness, it's like, okay, you can stand all day, but if you're still eating like crap, it doesn't, that's what really matters. So it's moving and exercising is beneficial for a number of reasons, but if we just eat real food that just either came from plants or animals, we'll be all right.
And that's the thing, man, I really want to do is like get people to understand it's not that hard. Changing yourself might be hard, but like losing weight and getting healthier is not as hard as you think. It's not as complicated as you think. It's simple.
Yeah.
You cut the processed foods, processed sugars, eat more whole foods, move a little more. The weight's gonna come off. Yeah,
and you can eat like some crappy things every once in a while, but it just can't be, it can't be 80% of your diet. That's all. It's just like, if that was the global change, it would be just have real food out there. And then the second thing, if people were looking for general motivation, it would be like, whatever you do, it's just going to take a long time to get to the change you want to see. Because if you're out of shape and unhealthy now, just think about how many years of bad behavior you engaged in. So it's going to take that much longer, or just as long, or if not longer, to be where you want to be. So it's going to take longer than you think it will. So you just got to be patient and enjoy the process.
Nice. Now, Nick, I got a question for you.
Of course, we got cool guys like Derek and Galo to help facilitate the exercise part of it.
We're trying, my man.
Exercises and
My man, Nick, question for you, man, because I'm curious to find out. I don't think we covered this topic yet, but growing up for you, were you always an active kid? What got you into health and fitness, or what was the turning?
Yeah, so growing up, I played baseball all my life, and then in high school, middle school, ran cross country, and then I got into wrestling. So I wrestled for 6 years. In baseball, so I had that athletic background. And then during my undergrad college years, I did my own amateur, no clue what I'm doing, Globo Gym bicep curl stuff.
Bodybuilding.com.
I think we've all done that, neglected leg day, all that stuff. But then once I got back into, I started my master's program about 4 or 5 years ago, and I realized I needed to kind of make a change. And fortunately, my wife or my girlfriend, who's now my wife, she was doing CrossFit, and that's how I kind of got into it, and really fell in love with the actual methodology and foundation of it. And so I really enjoy it. I know Derek isn't a fan of it, but maybe if he gives it a shot and kind of sees a couple workouts here and there.
I don't know about that.
Hey, I respect the real athletes.
Yeah.
That are really doing it. But
yeah, it's that's kind of been my journey. So I've been on more the really appreciate the strength and conditioning side of things in the past 4 or 5 years. So that's my history.
Nice. And what are your plans going forward with BehaviorFit?
Well, moving forward, I still have a year of school left, so being a student still priority number one. But then the idea is to expand my reach through workshops and podcasts like this, and start building up a client base. And in my field, there's a lot of people that want to work in health and fitness but just don't know how. So there could be some mentorship and coaching others to do what I do in the future. So
Got you.
if I can figure out how to be successful on my own, then I can teach other people and get more healthier people moving in the world.
Okay.
all right, off the health and fitness topic, this guy loves fighting.
Oh yeah. I was wondering if this is going to come up.
Okay.
So,
Well, like boxing fighting or UFC fighting?
I'm more into MMA.
Okay.
But so one of my advisory board members is Dr. Paulie Gloves. He's on Instagram, Facebook. You can look him up. So he's been coaching in Florida for 25, 30 years. He's legit. He's a good friend of mine. So he and I, like, on top of all this other health and fitness stuff, we've been chopping it up, figuring out how to bring the science to MMA, and we got some ideas in the works. And I know you guys love MMA, so maybe we could get Paulie on the show and talk about other things. So yeah, I've been following UFC and all that for 10 years as well.
Nice. I like that.
Galo's more of a boxing guy.
Boxing,
I'm more of a boxing guy, yeah, for sure.
He's a what do they call him? A casual for MMA?
Yeah, I was gonna say when it comes to the MMA and UFC, man, I only watch like I guess you can call like the mainstream fights. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really that into it like that unless it's a big fight.
Yeah. Well, Paulie, he's got he has the sorry, this is MMA, but he has the heavyweight amateur champ in Florida right now for MMA, and then he's been coaching. He's been like striking coaches for other UFC fighters. He was a Golden Gloves heavyweight champ in like the 90s when he was in his prime. So yeah, check him out.
I like that.
But do you watch boxing at all?
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh no. No, I follow more like MMA, and then what Paulie's doing. I'll catch some of the Friday night fights and stuff like that. But
Okay.
not pure. I don't follow just boxing.
All right.
I know that what's his name? Got a drug test. Triple G fight. What's his name? Canelo. Yeah, Canelo tested positive. So there's that.
Well, he's cleared to fight. I mean, he's cleared to fight. He passed his third drug test, so.
Oh, okay. Third time charm.
Because the meat in Mexico is terrible.
Oh yeah, right.
Let me tell you.
I don't understand that, bro. Like, I just don't get it.
Who's your favorite right now? Like, who do you look up? Like, or who's your all-time favorite MMA fighter, and who's your like up and coming favorite, or some of your favorites? Some of them that you grew up watching, and some of them the new guys that you like right now.
I liked Uriah Faber, and
before he got his ass beat by Aldo.
Right. Yeah. When he was, legit, 6 or 7 years ago, and I watched. I liked GSP before he came back as an old man, but I watched him when he was kicking ass.
Yeah, he was dope watching.
So,
he was dope to watch.
Yeah. He was pretty awesome. I mean, I had the wrestling background, so I appreciated his style of fighting.
So what got you into wrestling, man? I wrestled in high school too, but I only did it for 2 years.
Oh, cool. Well, that means I can kick your ass then. I don't know. Just like in middle school, I I thought it would be kind of a cool idea, and then I just stuck with it. And
What weight class did you wrestle in high school? Or throughout your career?
High school was 112, 130.
Oh, so you were small in high school, bro. So you were my weight class. You could have gone at it back in high school.
Well, here's the thing. By my senior year, I was 140.
Okay.
I'm 6'1" right now.
Gotcha.
I was 140, so I had no muscle on me. But now I'm 6'1", 180.
Okay. All right. I'm like 5'8", 170.
Yeah, so it's like if I...
We can still go at it.
Yeah, we go at it. I'll still whoop you. What's your... Yeah, so... Yeah, I was 140, but I was tall and skinny, so that cross-country conditioning helped me, like, beat out all those ripped dudes.
Yeah.
Because they would just gas out in, like, the second period. So, if I knew what I knew now, if I knew then what I knew now about strength and conditioning and how important it is, I'd be like, man, I would have actually done something besides just win sectionals. But
absolutely. How far did you get?
Sectionals. I was
What's
a sectional
that?
champion.
Is that like county or like region?
It's like city, city county. So
is that like did you go to states?
As a spectator, yes.
Oh, okay. So I guess you were probably like a county champ then, right?
Yeah. So we had sectionals, regionals, semi-state, and then state.
Semi-state, really?
Yeah. So it's those are the levels of competition. Gotcha. This is in Indiana too, and Indiana's pretty competitive in wrestling. Gotcha. So you know, whenever I'm wrestling kids that only play one sport and wrestle all year and have been wrestling since like 6th grade, I don't stand a chance. Yeah.
Tell me about it. I remember that.
Yeah. What weight class were you?
I was pretty much 130, 135. So those are the 2 weight classes I wrestled in high school.
Cool. What do you weigh now?
Like 170.
All right. Yeah, we're close enough.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Whenever you come to Florida, because I'm not coming up to New Jersey.
We'll get it on for sure. Because I know me and Derek still got a boxing match going. So I'll take both of you on the same day.
Okay. You won't be able to see.
My man Nick, I got one more question before you leave, brother.
Cool. Yeah, this is good. I love it.
All right. Check this out. So, what would you recommend for someone who is brand new to fitness or just general health, doesn't know where to start, works out in office? What would be like your top 2, 3, 4 recommendations for that person to kind of get the wagon moving into into better health?
Yeah, good question. I'd say just try to get up and move at least every 45 minutes to an hour. Your work is not that important. It's a computer. It can wait. I get we have deadlines, but just try to get up, stand, get around every hour. And then maybe a second thing, if I tell people, if you're looking for tips and tricks, I know you guys love this answer. It's just, you got to lift heavy things. And if you don't do that, you're setting yourself up for low bone density, bad muscle, structure, all those things. So as long as you move around a little bit and you pick up heavy things, a couple of days a week, you'll be all right.
Cool. And what will be like a recommendation maybe as far as, nutrition wise, in that type of realm?
I would say get comfortable with the idea that dietary fat is okay, and dietary fat does not make you fat. Yep. Other bad nutrition things, because I think that's the biggest thing that I've run into working with people. It's just like avocado is good for you, coconut oil is good for you. So have a healthy balance of macros, no processed sugar, just like I said before, but the whole dietary fat is good for you.
Gotcha.
Cut the sugar out of your coffee and add butter, right?
That's right. Bulletproof coffee. Change your life. You might go to the bathroom a couple extra times, but you get used to it.
That's funny.
Okay, last question. This is the question I do want to ask every guest. What is your vision for BehaviorFit, or, yourself? How big are you looking to build this brand? Globally? How big do you want this to be? How many lives do you want to impact?
It's a great question. I think is as big as it needs to be. The whole journey here for myself, I've been in school, so it's hard to really gauge and get full into growth and expansion. But I'm just a person that's always following opportunity, and if there's an opportunity to help more and more people by training others to help people, or to do more workshops or whatever it looks like, I'm open to helping as many people as possible, because at the end of the day, just like you said, Derek, it's to get healthier, it is very simple. And I think once we map on those behavioral principles, they're very powerful. And wherever that takes me, it could be global, could be just local, it could be national. I'll be moving soon, so probably won't stay in Gainesville, but I have my mark here. But
You want to build it online?
yeah, I think it'll be online with travel and everything, for the workshops and speaking. I do a lot of like academic type conferences and research, so I'll still push the envelope there. Because really, in my field in behavioral science, there's like a lot of research about it, but nobody's figured out how to do it. So I'm kind of like one of the first people to actually kind of figure out how to build a practice and do the things that I'm doing. So really, the world is my ocean right now.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, man. I think that's it. Had a great talk. I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody follow Nick on Instagram at Nick Green Moves and at BehaviorFit. And
Yep, that's right.
Facebook's at BehaviorFit too, right?
Correct.
All right. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Plan on having you on again.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. This
Nick,
is awesome, and I think
awesome coming through,
this is
brother.
only the beginning.
Awesome, man. Thank you for coming by, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
right.
I'll see you soon for that wrestling match.
Oh yeah, baby.
We're gonna have like a blood sport at strength.
There. That's good.
Oh, it's going down, bro. It's gonna be serious.
All right, brother.
That's funny.
All right, guys. You guys have a great day, man.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Guys, that is all today for Hustle for Strength. If you have any questions, reach out at hustleforstrength@gmail.com. You can find me at Galo.GGFitness on Instagram. You can find Derek at Saltino89 on Instagram. Friend us. Give us a question if you have any, and we'll see you guys next time. Later.